All right, everyone. So here's a second of two videos for you to get you ready for the rest of these lines. So again, if we look, 685, just to give you a clean translation, I'm not going to go through the grammar again. But remember, be careful about this word here, fata, because that's a participle. I know it looks like fate, but it's actually a a perfect active participle from fator, having spoken, and it's feminine because it's Anna. Thus, having spoken, she had passed over the accusative, lofty steps, and having embraced her half-dead sister, nourished her, fovebotted her, however you want to translate that verb, with her sinu, with her breast or her bosom, her chest. She's holding the body of Dido to her own body. And then we have with a groan, kum gemitu, with a groan. And sikabat, she was drying the atros, the black or dark cruores, the black gore, literally plural, the black gores with veste, with her ablative garment, robe, clothing, whatever. Then we get down to here, we have Ela, and then Ela is going to be Dido. That one, Konata, having tried atolere, to raise her heavy eyes, deficit. What did she do? She fell. She fainted. Rorsus again. And then this last line is the infixum vonus, nominative, singular, neuter, the pierced wound, infixum being a perfect passive participle, the pierced vonus, the pierced wound, gurgled or hissed, stridit, under her chest. All right, so now let's do new material that we haven't really touched yet, and we probably really won't get till at least Tuesday, I think. You see these two ters, T-E-R. It means three times, thrice, if you want to be fancy. Thrice, raising up sessa. Sessa is just a reduplicated, intensified version of the reflexive pronoun, herself. Now, again, this is talking about Dido. Three times, thrice, presently actively, Atolens raising up herself, and adnixa, a perfect active participle, and having leaned kubito on her elbow, she rose, levavit, like levitation, right? She lifted up. And then another ter. Three times she did something else. Three times, and now you have a verb, revoluta est. She was perfectly passively turned about, toro, on her couch. It's the same toro as earlier when she impressa os toro, when she placed her mouth onto her bed. And again, remember this idea that the compound verbs love, re volto. So it's a compound verb that loves the dative, right? So this toro is going to be dative. That toro is going to be dative with the compound verb, right? And with wandering eyes, oculis, means eyes, and is like the here, right? And with errantibus, with present active wandering eyes, and now we have to go down to the next bit. Quesive, she sought. What did she seek? She sought light, lucem. A lot of times this is in reference to like the sun, so it's like natural light, lux, lucis. She sought light, alto. So the alto is up here, alto, and then modifying the cielo from the in the lofty sky, in the high sky, or deep into the sky, right? And then you have here the ke and reperta. Reperta, if you look down here, means to find, and it's not the pronoun, it's just a normal verb, so that's perfect passive. And having been found, and with it having been found, meaning the light, right? The ablative thing having been found. So you see these ablative things, the alto, cielo, reperta. But the reperta is modifying, in my mind here, the looks, which is feminine. And with it having been found, it's really just an ablative absolute with just a participle. Really, it's like luce, reperta, right? Because that's the only feminine thing here, right? And with the light having been found, she groaned, ingemuit. So ingemuit there, and then we have up here somewhere it's a cum gemitu. Where did I find that? Oh yeah, the cum gemitu is up here. So a lot of groaning happening here, right? So I hope that makes sense. I'll give you a clean translation. So ter, thrice, atolens, presently actively rising or raising, sessa, herself, and having leaned upon, adnixa, having leaned upon her elbow, she raised up. Ter, second ter. 3 times she was tossed about. 3 times she was tossed about on the dative couch. And with wandering eyes, she quaesivet, she sought out the lucem, the accusative light, in the ablative, high heaven or lofty sky, whatever. And reperta, and really it's like reperta luce, right? It's an ablative absolute without the luce expressed, which is the only feminine thing, right? You see the long A there. And with it having been found, meaning the light, when she found the light in the sky, she groaned. Not exactly sure totally what's happening here. Probably she's groaning that she's still alive, right? She saw the light and kind of recognized that she's still living. All right, let's just do this last line. I'm going to keep this kind of brief. I think this is brief. I don't know how long it'll be, but so just do up to here. Tum, then, uno omnipotens miserata. So these are your nominative things, right? Then, just tum means then. Nominative, feminine, singular, Juno. Nominative, feminine, all-powerful. And miserata is a perfect active participle from a deponent verb, right? So if you go down here, you're going to see miseror. So having pitied, meaning that Juno is the one having pitied. Then all-powerful Juno having pitied what accusative thing? The long suffering and the difficult, literally deaths. Difficult deaths. Again, it's pluralization here. She sent, meaning Juno sent down, demisit, she sent Iris, who Iris is to Juno as Mercury is to Jupiter, if that makes any sense, from Olympus, Olimpo, ablative place from which. This should remind you a bit of the scene earlier in Book 4 when Mercury is sent down from bright Olympus, right? Now, what's happening here is something that we might have talked about in the past, but when you have a relative clause, a relative pronoun, And then you have a subjunctive, which is what this is. So this is your subjunctive verb. It's purpose. It's another way to do purpose. It's basically just like ut plus the subjunctive, right? She sent Iris from Olympus to do what? To unbind. Resolveret, imperfectly subjunctively, to unbind, to loosen the luctantem animam. Luctantem means like suffering, grieving. Here we luctor, right? The struggling. That's a good way to put it. The struggling animam, the struggling soul, right? Like she, like at this point, Dido is in pain and wants to die, and it seems like Juno miserata, having pity, having taken mercy. She's feeling bad for Dido here, right? So she sent Iris for what purpose? Que, to loosen the struggling soul, and to loosen what else, right? Remember, so this ke here is and to loosen the nexos artos, to loosen the bound limbs, right? Nexos here, necto nectare, the limbs having been bound. So she really, her soul is wrestling, her limbs are bound, and this is almost as if Juno has perfectly actively taken pity on this and sent Iris to kind of put her out of her misery, to loosen her struggling soul and to loosen her bound limbs. All right, I hope this makes some sense to you. We're really progressing towards the end here. There's not many more lines here. So you see this is the last piece here, and this is the last Latin. These last several lines we'll do the rest of this week. And then really we'll just, do that partial trimester exam assignment thing just to kind of make sure that we're up to snuff, and obviously I'll explain again how that'll work, but I think you all understand. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe, stay calm, wash your hands, socially distance. This too shall pass. Remember, we're an Easter people. I know it feels like we are on Good Friday and Holy Saturday, but Easter will come, and the resurrection will come. And, we'll get past this, and I hope to see you soon in person. All right. Be good. I miss you guys. Bye.